Hi, this is Ann Yandian with the Bolch Judicial Institute at Duke Law School, and I'm here with Judge Carla Archie, and I'm going to have her introduce herself. Judge?
Good afternoon, Ann, and thank you for having me. I am Judge Carla Archie. I'm a resident Superior Court judge in the 26th Judicial District in North Carolina. That county seat is Charlotte, Mecklenburg County. I serve a court of general jurisdiction. We handle felony matters, felony criminal matters, and then civil disputes over $25,000, as well as appeals from our lower court, district court, the clerk's office, and administrative agencies. We travel a bit. We ride a circuit, so to speak, and so I serve not only in Charlotte, but in 25 counties from here to the Tennessee line.
Judge, can you tell us what was the topic of your thesis and how did you get the idea for it?
So the topic of my thesis was a recidivism review of first-time low-level offenders in Charlotte, Mecklenburg. In anticipation of the thesis, I had just been keeping some running notes in my note app on my phone as interesting topics would come to my attention. I might be participating in some continuing education or reading a news article, and a thought would pop into my head, and I'd just write it down because I didn't know what I might do with it later. But then as we started to get farther along in the program and I began to focus more on which topic I was actually going to select, our professor suggested we do something about which we had a lot of energy and interest. It would make the thesis process go a lot smoother. And so I handle probably 75% of my work is around felony criminal matters. And so that led me to then take a look at that particular topic.
That's great, and that makes sense that you write something that you know about but could answer an interesting question. And I think I had mentioned to you what was interesting to me about your topic was that you picked a more narrow topic, directly related to your work. And so for me, having judges understand that it doesn't have to answer a broad judicial question. It can be something small and really related to your direct work that may help you in the future. So that's true.
Sure, our professors give us wide latitude in the topics we choose to focus on. Again, they just encourage us to do something that we are personally very interested in and excited about to make the process go along more smoothly. But they encourage you to take a look at whatever interests you of any variety. That just happened to be something that struck me.
Great. And what was the process of writing like for you? When did you find time to write? How did you kind of parse it out?
It's difficult with a full-time job and a full-time docket or full caseload, but I worked it in mostly in the evenings and weekends. There were some weeks in my schedule that were a little bit lighter than others where I could really sort of tackle the topic, but a lot of it was just sort of nights and weekends. I did spend quite a bit of time over the Christmas holiday because our courts here locally are closed for 2 weeks. And so I really dedicated a considerable amount of time during that 2 weeks. And then just kind of worked it in, as I said, nights and weekends when I could.
Great. And do you have a sense of how much time you spent researching and writing for your topic?
I long ago gave up the billable hour and tracking time, and I honestly don't. I know it was a lot. My topic was somewhat data intensive. And so initially, as we were gathering the data and really sort of parsing out the data, that took a lot of time and energy. But I don't, really have a concrete guess or estimate.
Tell me a little bit about your experience working with your advisor.
So the advisors to the LLM program, to the Judicial Studies program, told us that the professors at Duke would be very receptive to a judge who knocked on their door or picked up the phone. And so what I did once I selected my topic was go through the Duke faculty list to see who was teaching classes in criminal law, and maybe had done some published work related to my topic. There wasn't anything directly on point. But Ben Grunwald was the professor that I selected. He's a criminal law professor there at Duke. He had done some publications and some research around recidivism and other criminal questions. And so that's how I identified. He was the first person I called, and he said yes.
Great. Well, that's a great tip about how you found him. Well, thank you, Judge. I appreciate your time today.
You are quite welcome. Thank you, Ann. It's great to see you.
You too.